Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Banter.
So guys, I like that Baka's like hidden in the bottom part of his screen, and I just noticed. He's like,
He's hidden in the bottom part.
here.
You can only see part of his
I'm
beard. His
here,
beard is,
guys.
well, I would say it's the same length as mine, but even then, he's still fluffy on the sides.
And then I just remembered I left my water way over there. I'm sad face right
man.
now. But that's okay. I got coffee. I'll try to suffer through it. There's no more
my
sipping.
chair's doing the weird, like it wants to go down on its own once in a while.
Your hydraulics are out. But that's not gaming related, so let's keep that to the chair podcast.
who does that?
It's a gaming chair.
It's a gaming chair, so technically it counts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might be a gaming chair. I mean, I'm sure they talk about butt comfort and lumbar support and all that fancy stuff, but we don't do that here.
No lumbar support around
We don't
here.
talk about butt comfort here? What?
I mean, hey.
No, we just talk about butt hurt around here. Come on.
Oh, God. If Griff wouldn't beat my ass, I would snap my fingers, but I'm sure she'd come out of the room and slap me if I did that.
You could just do the motion, right? And I'll do the sound effects.
Nope. Someone's getting slapped anyway.
What games has everybody been playing this week?
So I I got to play a couple of them. I actually got to finish the Cana and the Bridge of Spirits, and absolutely a beautiful game. I see why it's up for the awards that it's up for. Gorgeous cinematography with the way that they designed the cutscenes. The game itself is gorgeous. The gameplay is really awesome, and it's got those old school, hey, it's bright on this particular guy, so you probably should shoot the bright spot thing. But the storyline itself is just beautiful. It does set it up to where you could do a sequel with it, but you don't have to. They ended it well enough to where if they said this is all we're going to do with Cana and we're going to move on to another game, they could do it and it would just be fine. Absolutely a beautiful game. Enjoyed the hell out of it. I'll probably play it again because there's certain parts of the game that I'm curious about because you're dealing with spirits. There's stories to each one of the spirits, and there's a couple of the spirits that I didn't get their information. I couldn't find because they're hidden pieces that you had to find. They're not part of the main storyline, and I want to know what happened there. And also, there's a village that unlocks certain things, like bad things go to good when you unlock those things for the spirits, without telling too much of the game itself. And I want my village to look normal. I don't want the bad things there. I want all the good things there. And go back through and play it that way. But it's brilliant. If you are a mediocre to not great gamer, put it in story mode. Telling you that now. Put it in story mode because it got to the point, and to be fair, I was next to last boss before I went, okay, I've got to put this in story mode at this point. But the problem is between the normal setting and story mode, there is a hell of a whole lot difference in that difficulty. So it's like story mode is like, we're just going to handhold your ass through this part of it. It's kind of difficult, but not really. Where normal level is like you're playing and it's like, get good, son. At the very you get those last pieces. But I was like, okay, I just want to find out how this ends. I'm more interested in the story than I am the other. Still fun, but oh my God. They did a great job of design and how they each one of the creatures has their own lore. How they did it was just fantastic, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. Also for I didn't get the game on Thursday and Friday. Thursday, I was going to play the new Guardians of the Galaxy game because I really want to play the game. It's gotten good reviews and it looks great. And I was like, I'm going to play this game. So I go on to the Microsoft store that's on Xbox and I click the button to buy the game. And when I go to buy the game, it says, oops, sorry, transaction didn't go through. Try again. So I tried again and the same error popped up. And I was like, okay. And then I hit the button again and it said, you've already purchased this. And I was like, oh, well, my Xbox account is attached to my PayPal. My PayPal goes off 4 times to this game. And then I'm like, okay, well, it's there. I've got to stream in like 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and start the download, and then I'll deal with the other part, right? So I go to my Xbox. It is nowhere in my library. I go to my Xbox I've got upstairs. Doesn't show up in that library. Doesn't show up on the PC. Doesn't show up anywhere except the Xbox actual website, the web page where it shows in my recent purchases.
Oh, because it's still processing the transaction instead of putting it in your library.
So I get over to the recent purchases and it shows where I've purchased it twice. I've been charged 4 times and it showed where it's there twice. So I was like, okay, I'm going to ask for a refund for both of these. And in the refund, I let them know, you've charged me $200 for a game I don't have. Please refund me all my money. So as of 9 p.m. Friday night, I had all $200 back, but it took like 24 hours for all of it to get back to me. So I did get all the money back, thank God. But note to everyone, if you're dealing with Microsoft's Xbox account and it pops that up, wait a minute and make sure you're not charged before you do the try again. Because they're lying. Don't try again. So I didn't get to play that, but one of my mods, Alyssa, I was lucky enough that a friend of mine was able to help her get an Xbox Series X. So she got that in, and it was her birthday. It literally came on her birthday. So I was very happy that she got it the day of her birthday. And then so Saturday, yesterday before the SEC championship game, that I was definitely going to watch because Alabama, and we ended up playing some Sea of Thieves. And Sea of Thieves has a new update, and some of the quality of life stuff they've done, I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant. So one of the things that they did is right is if you go in it and you pick up the crate, you've got crates that are allow you to be able to put in like fruit and cannonballs and everything else. They've had them for a long time. Well, now you can take said crate up to a barrel and take everything out of the barrel. So loading your boat, if you have one of those crates, you can go to an outpost and literally go up to every barrel and just hit take. And then when you get to your ship, if you're trying to load your ship up and you want to load up each individual barrel, you take it over to it and you hit the store button, and all your cannonballs will load into the cannonball one. Go to the wood one and it'll load all the wood one. Go to the food one and it'll load all the food one.
That's a nice one.
Where have you been all my life? Oh my God.
Right? And so, which it's really good too. Like if you slow down for the barrels that are in the water, because you can slow down enough and just start pulling them out of the water. And instead of grabbing the stuff out and then having to load them into one of those crates, you could just have somebody carrying a crate next to the thing and hit the take button real quick. They drop it, hit another one, and just take. So it's like, I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. This is awesome. One of the other things that they've added to, which is, it's not important, but it's one of those things that I just thought was a cool feature, and it's something that I've wanted in the game for a long time. Of course, we've always been able to dance and emote in different ways and be able to sit down and do things like that. But one of the things they didn't allow us to do is actually sit on our own boat. So you can actually go to the edges of the boat now in certain areas, and it'll say sit down, and you can hit the button to sit down, and then you can push, in my case, the Y button because I use a controller, and it'll put it in the third person view where you can kind of change your angle. So if you wanted to take a shot of yourself on the boat and not have to use an emote to do it, your character's actually sitting down on the edges of the boat or whatever. Or if you happen to be on a outpost and you wanted to sit at a table while you waited on your friends to do whatever the hell they're doing, then you can do that. So it's just kind of, it's almost like they're trying to do it for, almost like machinima, like they're trying to do it so people can create content out of the game itself.
Right.
The more casual role-playing style, which will be even more wonderful when they allow me to not worry about getting attacked all the time. I'm sitting there trying to make a nice little video screenshot, and then here comes Mr. Big Dick over there just shooting the shit out of my ship while I'm just trying to casually play.
True. So we're, one of the first things I noticed when I got on the boat, we've had cannonballs, cursed cannonballs. They're really cool cursed cannonballs that come out of the battle with Flameheart. And then you have your fire bombs as well as your I can't think of the actual name of them, but they're like the shotgun.
The blunderbuss ones.
Yes, the blunderbuss bombs. You've had all those. Now you have fireworks and flares.
Oh no.
So the fireworks, they're not weapons to my knowledge anyway. It's literally just so you can do a signal flare and somebody's like, hey, where you at? And if you had one of those on you, and let's say you were on a particular island or whatever, you could shoot the flare up and somebody come over, and then you have the different fireworks to shoot. And the fireworks are cool. We got lucky. Nobody attacked. Other people were shooting off fireworks too. It was kind of neat. I was just, because we were doing absolutely nothing. We made probably like $20,000 and we were doing nothing. There was no missions. There was nothing. We were just roaming around.
Right.
But the other thing that they've added, which I think is a really neat thing, and I'm interested to see what people are going to end up doing with this in the community, is you can now bury treasure. So you grab your treasure, you put your treasure down on the land, and it gives you an option to now bury the you pull out your shovel, and it'll give you an option to be able to bury it. And so you can bury it there. When you bury it, it automatically creates a map inside your inventory that has X marks on it. So you can literally put, 20 on one if you want to, and just kind of hide them there and then go off and do what you want to. But the other thing it does is create scrolls inside on your table that other people can get off of your table. So if they go in, they can grab a hold of that, and now they have your map that's got all your stuff on it. So you got to be careful with that.
Yeah,
but
I think that's a great idea.
I don't understand the point of that.
Well, so when you go to the merchant now, next to the merchant, actually it's next to the shipwright, on every single island on the and then there's even one on the outpost, or seapost, sorry. There's a bulletin board. And if you click on that bulletin board, people have hidden treasures throughout the entire thing, and they've given you their maps. We did it for the, we did one mission that was on there, and we dug up, it was 2 minor items, but it was like something that you could just pick up and take back and make a little bit off of. And then we put all of our crates with all of our stuff from the ship on it and buried those, and there's like 9 of them, and then we just went and put one on there. So now somebody could pick that up, look at it, and go, oh, there's 9 X's here. They go over there, and now their ship's completely loaded up, is what we used it for. Because people would put them on the docks, but if you put them on the docks, within 3 hours, they're gone. Where this is permanent until somebody picks them up. So it's going to be interesting to see how they end up doing it.
There's the nice way to use it like that. There's also the people that are like, yeah, let's go get this treasure. Then they get there and they're like, it's just a bunch of cannonballs, really? And then there's the people that are like, here's our thing. We left our treasure here for you to find. And then they camp the island and wait for people to show up expecting goodwill, and they get blown up instead.
Well, I mean, it's a possibility that you do that. But I mean, to be fair, we turned one in about an hour in that had like 2 minor things. One was like a barrel, and one was one of the little gold pieces that we found on a beach and just buried it right then. And we went to an outpost to see how that mechanic worked, turned it in, and it was still there an hour later. So nobody was using it. So I don't know how often that feature is going to be added or used right now, since they've added it. But I like the feature. I think it's a cool concept.
I would never trust it. That's the kind of person I am. I'm too cautious.
Well, I still don't understand what the point of it is. Like, for people to make missions for other people?
Yeah, basically.
You're like, oh no, I have too much treasure. I'm too good at being a pirate. Let me bury this so that somebody else can find it instead.
There's people who do it all the time. I've actually been on the in like Discords and everything else, and they're going, hey guys, I'm about to get off. I've got probably $50,000 worth of gold for treasure. Does anybody want to jump on right now? If not, I'm just going to leave it where I'm at, because they've got to jump off.
Why wouldn't you just turn it in?
Because they've got 50 million gold. They don't care.
Why do they still play the game then? Like if you're
because
not
they enjoy
playing...
the mechanics of the game. They enjoy other parts of the game.
I mean, but apparently they don't care about.
But you would think if that's the case, then
You don't
they
care
would,
about the money.
they would
They'd
recruit
pick up
somebody
some
on
scrubs.
Discord beforehand. You just be like,
Exactly,
hey, I'm
pick
gonna
up
go
some
play because I
scrubs
enjoy
and-
playing it, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have all of this money. You can have it. I'll just log out.
I'll log off. You could turn it in. I don't need the money.
Yeah, it just gives people an option to be able to play. Or maybe some people are playing missions and they find things on the beaches. They can go ahead and bury the stuff they don't want that's sitting on the beach. Somebody else might want it, and they create a map that way. You know?
I think their efforts could have been used elsewhere. Like the crate thing, that is probably one of the best quality of life things that they could have ever put into the game ever. And then they add this, which is like, yeah, it's got a feature, but it's kind of one of those things where it's... Well,
I like the feature. I think it's kind of a cool concept. I like it more of a, okay, we're doing a bunch of stuff. Let me, or we're getting chased, whatever it happens to be. Let me hop off real quick and hide it on this particular item on this island. And then, because you can remove the scroll from your own table too.
Yeah.
So like if they are about to sink you or whatever, then you can grab that scroll real quick and hop off. So, and then you have your scroll, but yeah.
Strange.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's a little odd, but I mean, it's a feature that you don't have to use it. There's, I guess it's just one of those things.
I liked it. It was fun. I enjoyed the kind of the novelty of it. It wouldn't, I don't think I think it's going to be used a whole lot. But it will be interesting to see if people start doing, okay, we're going to grab all 5 of the, or 6, whatever it is that they've got that's up there, and just see if we can run these real quick and see what people are leaving, or things like that. You might end up with somebody's buried something really big because they're like, okay, somebody has never had this before, so I'm going to bury this for them right here.
I think there are more assholes than there are good people, so I think you're going to get a lot more empty chests than you're going to get Athena chests.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was thinking, but I was gonna not say it.
Yeah, like you're going to have some people that are going to do that, but I mean...
Yeah, but you can do it with any chat. You can do it with anything.
Well, I know, but that's the point, is they're probably going to put something small in there, bait you, especially for the Reaper kind of people. They don't have to put on the Reaper flag. They just sit near the island, they bury one little goblet, wait for you to come up, and then they sink you if you had something cool. If not, they just wait for the next fish to come in and try.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I would say
We'll see how people use it.
overall, like as far as percentages and everything go, the 3 of us, me and Baka and Chicken, have had far more negative experiences than Oak has. Like,
Well,
I just
Oak's
based
played
on
it.
storytelling and everything, that's the way it seems to me. Is like we've encountered more of the dick side of that game than he has.
I would
Well, Oak
disagree
plays a
with
lot
that.
more.
100% disagree with that. I think the difference is I don't allow the people that are being dicks completely affect the game for me. And I think it's one of those where I know that I can quickly switch to another server if I needed to. We have ways of literally having our entirely fully loaded boat now that you
Yes.
can move over to another server, which was not available to start with. But it is one of those things. If you know how to do it and do it quickly, you can move over. Like we loaded into, which we were a sloop, but we loaded into one with a level 5 Reaper, and we were like, okay, well, there's level 5 Reaper. Do we want to go off or not? And we're like, we're only gonna be here a couple hours anyway. We can keep an eye on them because they're on the map all the time anyway. And in their particular case, they were running the Ford of Fortune popped up, and so they were running it. So they just stayed there the entire time, went and turned their shit in at Reapers and left. But I mean, we do deal with dicks and assholes and stuff too. It's just, you can either fight them, which we don't usually do, or you can avoid them, which we've just gotten really good at. It's like, it's kind of what we deal with. But I enjoy the rest of the gameplay, and I deal with more positive in the game than I do negative, but I dealt with a shit ton of negative too. We've had nights that have been completely blown, 3 hours worth of night completely blown because of assholes. But it's, I think it's just a matter of the day you log in and the server you happen to be on. And if they've got red flags, avoid it,
Mm-hmm.
But, right now, but I mean, we had a positive experience. It was fun.
Cool.
Enjoyed it. Yep. What y'all got? That's all I had. Sorry.
I mean, I played more Mass Effect. Like, I have been carrying around the statement from last week all week with me. I just want you to know that. Like, the more I think about it, the more I feel like that's incredibly unfair. Because not only do I not have, tons of money to throw at games that I don't know if I want, because not a lot has come out that's caught my attention this year, I also don't have a lot of time. And I feel like I've spent my time doing things that I want to do, because I only have a few hours every here, now and then. So, I played Mass Effect. It's been great. Like, it's what I choose to spend my free time on. I bought a game on sale. I'll play it at some point when I'm ready to play it. But until then, like, I feel like you should spend your free time doing what you like. And this is what I like, so.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with it.
It felt like there was something wrong with it last week.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying you have a pattern of going back to games that you enjoy. That's not a dig by any means. It's just the rest of us usually move on to other games, which it's good that you love the games that you do as much as you do, because guess what? If I have a Mass Effect question, I'm asking you. If I have, because you know those games better than anybody else.
I just haven't had anything to move on to. There hasn't been anything else that came out this year that I'm like, I need that in my life right now. There's Far Cry, but I know what I'm getting with it. It's sitting on Far Cry. Yeah, it's sitting on a back burner. It's also all of the stuff with Ubisoft right now. I'm kind of leery of that situation. My time has been incredibly taken by a lot of other stuff, including, a child and whatnot. I only get a few hours a night, so... And then the weekends I get, like, his nap time in a few hours a night, so I just haven't had a whole lot of reason to go out and buy 37 other games or download a bunch of stuff that I'm not gonna have time for right now, I guess, or really, get into, which I get it. Like, I've got Game Pass, so I've got access to this whole library of stuff, but it's just one of those things where it's like, that's not stuff I want to spend my time with right now. So, it's on Game Pass. It'll probably be there forever.
Well, it depends on the game. First party, yes. 100%.
Yeah. Most of the stuff that I want to play on Game Pass will probably be there for a while. So, I think that's fine. And I really honestly don't know what the next game outside of Saints Row that I'm looking forward to is. So, I don't know. I'll play Death Stranding.
Well, I guess you're not even looking for Dragon Age these days.
I'm looking forward to seeing how reviews go for Dragon Age and give it like a couple weeks, to be launched and see how everybody else feels about it, because I can't, after I drop it, I can't commit money to a new BioWare game, especially knowing...
I think anybody that is pre-ordering games now at this point is completely delusional on things, because after the last really 6 years of pre-order stuff, that's things that have gone wrong. I just don't really see why people pre-order a lot of stuff. But, it's like I would... Go ahead.
You would what?
I would probably end up pre-ordering Halo Infinite if it wasn't something that was on Game Pass. Yeah. Just because it's Halo and I want to own all of them. But I will wait until because I will have a physical copy of it, but I will be waiting until that price drops astronomically before I pay for the money for that.
I'll probably buy Saints Row when it comes out, because it probably won't come out on Game Pass, which is fine. But it's one of those things where I understand buying that game may be a mistake. It may be something that I don't care for. As long as I'm just hoping it's not broken, Like, I hope when it comes out...
Do we have a release date on that one?
No, we don't. Next year. I think they said February, and then they pushed it.
We'll probably see something about it at the Game Awards, and then something at E3, and then it'll probably release later on next year.
Yeah. It still says February, but I feel like it got pushed.
It didn't get pushed to February, did it?
No. That's why February was the release date they announced with.
Okay.
Because it was...
I feel like you're right, though. I feel like I remember a pushing of that date.
I feel like they said they were going to, but I can't...
Well, we'll see when it starts getting closer. I'm sure the next one that we'll see has a better release date.
Yeah.
Because like right now, I feel like if we were releasing in February for that game, there would be a lot more information out on it than there is.
Well, you got Game Awards this week. Maybe they'll talk about it then, but I think it's supposed to be like the 25th or something of February, I think is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's the case or not. But I also understand, I'm not looking at that going, I'm about to buy the next masterpiece game. I'm looking at it and going, this is a gamble to buy a game on day one. You know?
Yeah, no kidding. That's just about everything these days. To gamble to buy anything.
Yep.
I mean, I gambled with Cyberpunk, and I came out okay, but a lot of other people
Yeah, I
did
was
not.
about to say.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's 4 of us here, and 2 of us bought the Cyberpunk, which he's playing off of your version of it. So it's like, 3 of us have played the game, and all of us have had a positive experience, from my understanding, right? Nobody's really had a negative experience with the game, so
I enjoyed it. I still need to finish it.
I think the odds are in the positive side when it comes to that.
Well, for us, because we were playing it on PC. If we were on console, it'd be totally different.
Yeah, that would be a train wreck. Nah, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah. Hell no.
But yeah, I'll install Death Stranding at some point because I'm interested. I just don't know.
Yeah, I want to try Death Stranding.
Chick will probably try it before I do. I'll be real with you.
I'm interested on that one because you remember, like, one of the things that they talked about, because of the way, even though it's a single player game, it's a shared world in the way that it's designed, and the fact that, like, the rocks are sharper at some point, and then as you move through the game, the more people that have played it, there's certain elements of the game that have changed.
Yeah, which I feel
I'm
like
interested to see. I'm interested to see if you can. First of all, I think that feature should be turned off.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I feel
honestly
like you
think
should
that-
be able to turn it off.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little research real quick because that's important to me because I don't want to play Death Stranding and have all the bridges and the ropes and pretty much the entire fucking world
Already set up.
civilized so that I can just kind of go wee and ride a fucking motorcycle to the other side easily. I want to explore. I want to fail. I want to actually struggle and create my own paths.
Well, I mean,
through
that's
it.
the
I don't
He
wanna
wants to be
right?
the best package deliverer ever.
I'm
But I
gonna
mean,
be the best package.
Isn't
deliverer.
that the gameplay of it, though, is to figure that stuff out so you can get from point A to point B to continue your story on? Theoretically,
Yeah, and
I
I
don't
think
know.
what they did is they combined, and I could be completely wrong, and please put in the comments if I am when I'm saying this, but I'm thinking what they did is they took the element of Dark Souls style games where you can write down and warn somebody or troll somebody in the floor, essentially. You got a thing, and just made it to where it was a different part of the so you could be like, use this type of bridge here. You know what I mean? Like they kind of give you a hint on what to do, and then that affects the world as well. And I don't really like that. I don't.
I mean, I'm like chicken, especially now, this long after the initial launch of it, everything's gonna be finished out. So what would be the point of actually playing it yourself? You could just watch the YouTube compilation of the videos of the story and be done with it.
Right.
I'm hoping that that's a thing that you can opt out of because I don't
Yeah,
want it
because there's
either.
some people that really liked that element to it, and then there were other people that didn't really care for it. And so I'm just wondering, how it is affected now that it's been this long, because that was kind of when it was on console first, on PlayStation, it was one of those where it was like, okay, it's been out for this long, and then it moved to PC. Everybody that went into the PC would have gotten it fresh, just like the original PlayStation people would have. But now it's gone far enough to where what kind of experience are people going to have?
Okay, you can't play it offline.
You can or can't.
You can.
Okay.
You can play it offline mode, which removes everything from it. And apparently it makes the game substantially harder. Like the post boxes and all the tips and like the little tricks that people are like, you could try this route or you could do this, or they leave ropes to help make it easier for you. Nothing. You are completely on your own. It is much more difficult without the shared world experience. So
I guess what you could do is do one or the other first, like start it and see if that's okay with you or not, right? Like if you do it, let's say without the tips first, and be like, you do the first mission and go, okay, this was kind of hard. Or you could do the first mission with the help and turn around and go, okay, this was way too easy and I don't like it at all. And then switch to the other side, like just start over from scratch. And then you're not that far into it. Right?
yeah, it's interesting. Like if you play by yourself, you have to build everything yourself. All the generators, you've got to power your buildings and your watchtowers and everything yourself. You have no help. It's just completely a desolate world. Where if you play online, you can kind of get ideas and see what other people have done and kind of make your own way and build your own stuff. And when you play offline, as you build stuff on your offline world, when you go online, all those buildings are transferred online. Like all of your stuff gets moved to the shared world. So you'll still have your stuff if what you build offline onto the online world. I'm interested. I'm gonna see how I want to do it. If I do play the online part, I probably won't use everybody's stuff. I'll make my own path through things.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like playing Dark Souls, where a lot of the time I don't read the clues unless I constantly fail something, and I'm like, hey, what is it? Is this got a tip for me? And then it's like, hey, watch this wall over here, and it's like, oh, I hit the wall. It's a secret room. It's like, oh, cool, stuff like that. Simple things.
Or guy with arrows.
Or falling boulders. Watch out.
The other thing that I did play that we can all talk about, well, the three of us can talk about, is we played Deceit this weekend, and I killed literally everyone. It was I had one good round, and I kind of hate it because Baka was my partner in crime, and he did all of the heavy lifting early on, and nobody suspected me. So I was like, uh-oh. I killed somebody in like the first or second round, I want to say, and I was like, oh no, I think it was Snitty I killed. And then
I was going around getting blood.
Yeah, I didn't get a single blood pack that whole game. I mean,
I think you're really good at that game because nobody suspects you on this shit.
I'm not.
You have to give her credit. You have to give her credit because she actually outplayed me. 100% it was on her to win that game, because at the end, when I realized it was her, I unfortunately had her back for the whole time. I was so sus of Baka, and I thought it was also
They killed him, and I didn't realize it.
Like I was super sus of those two, and it was the last round, and I ran to the door because it was open, and I saw Kat running towards it, and she died, and Red ran up to it too, and I was like, wait a second, that means it's Grif. Oh shit. And as she was killing him, I shot her once with the shotgun. I missed the second shot, and as she was finishing killing him, I loaded up the $2, and I was like, I got her, I'm gonna escape. And as she went to run towards me, she put on her fortify, and I was like, well shit. I popped her twice, point blank, because she was coming out from around the tube, and she was right in my sight, and I hit her twice, and I was like, God damn it, she got me, and she just ran up and killed me.
This is how I managed to get him on my side early, though, because I'm dumb. So I was like, all right, I'm one of the bad guys. I'm walking down the hill, and there's a blood pack, and I walked past it, and I was right in front of an objective thing, and I went to go turn around because I was like, oh, I guess I should get some blood. And the chicken was right there, and he's like, Grif, what are you doing? And he's like, it's you. And I was like, if it was me, I would have drank that blood pack in front of you because I didn't see you until you were right here. You know that I'm stupid about how I play this game. I would have totally done that. And he's like, yeah. And then I was with him for the rest of the game just about.
And I saved her. By the way, I saved her that round. She got stuck. It glitched out, and she got stuck in a pin where, because you're supposed to teleport to the next zone, and it's got like a little blank square, and then you go into that, then you come out of the blank square into a little room, and then you can run out.
Open a gate so that you can run out. Well, it opened the gate and then slammed it back on me, so I was stuck in the little pre-area, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
So what did I decide to do? I tried to be smart and the big guy, and I was like, I save you, Grif. I got you. So I climbed up on some rocks above the gate, and I was like, all right, Grif, jump. I'm going to shoot you so that it downs you and lets you respawn in the map. So I shot her, and it downed her, and she respawned later. She's like, I was like, I got your back, girl. You good? And then she turned on me later and killed my ass.
I got the achievement for killing all of the innocents in the match. It was great. And at one point, I didn't realize they had killed Baka until it's like the lights go out and I'm running and I'm trying to figure out how I'm possibly going to help him kill these people. And I ran past his body on the ground and I just stopped and looked at it and I was like, uh-oh.
Red got me by like 10 seconds before the lights went out. He got up behind me and did the injection.
Oh, that's what happened to you. That's why I was so quiet. Yeah, I saw his body and I was just, seriously, my brain went, uh-oh.
When I saw Red take him down, because I heard it, I was like, somebody just got gotted. And I saw Baka's body, I was like, okay, cool, that's one down. I feel strong about Cat being the other one. Nope.
I was with Chicken and Red, and the lights went out for the final night thing, and I was like, uh-oh. I saw that the exit thing popped up, and I was like, oh, no. I gotta go. I gotta get to the door and see if I can get at least one or two of them. So I, like, ran into because it's on the foresty level, those two split this way, and I just ran through the middle of the foliage, and Kat was standing on the door waiting for it to open. So I transformed right in front of her and just murdered her when the other two walked up. I was like, no, this is gonna be the end for me. There's no way I could repeat that play, ever. My best round. I should never play that game again.
Well, come on, the other round where we killed Baka was pretty legit, too. I sacrificed everybody to win the game, for the record.
God.
Snitty died.
Literally, me and Chicken and Baka left, and Chicken's like, it's Baka. Baka takes off running, is like slamming doors in front of us, so we know it's him.
Okay, the way it worked, I was confident it wasn't Grif, and after the first round, I ran out and I heard the monster de-transform, and I saw two shadows run in front of me and run out the door, and it was Red and Cat, and I was like, it's them, get their ass now. And Red comes around the corner and he's like, yeah, it's not me, go ahead and take me out. And I just capped his ass right there, and we voted him out immediately. And I was like, all right, now we find Cat, because Snitty already was murdered. I was like, now we find Cat. And I was like, Grif, grab this right now. Come grab this. Come stand there. Because then Cat came around the corner, and I was like, stand on this, Cat, right now. It's the scanner. And she's like, no. So I stood on it. Grif got it, and she started shooting at me. Cat did. So I started shooting back at her. And I was like, we got her down, and Grif voted her out. Nothing happened. And I was like,
where's Baka?
I'm feeling sus. And next thing you know, I see Baka run around a corner, and I just full-blown sprint after him. And I saw him close the door behind him. I run into the next room, jump over some things, and I just start chasing him out of the bathroom and shooting him as he runs. Now, we ran into the library. Grif was right behind me. We ran into the library and went around the staircase.
Like, we took to both sides, so we came around the bookcases staring at each other, and we're like, where is he?
and I realized that I had one of two options. He was hiding behind one of the bookcases behind me, and I ran back real quick, knocked him down. He almost had me, and I knocked him down, and I was just screaming for Grif to come around the corner and find him. And she comes around and votes him out when there's 2 seconds left on the clock. He goes down, and as soon as he gets voted out, Grif takes me out.
I wasn't sure. I knocked him down, so I had a chance to run if it was him. I might have a chance to make it to the door.
Yeah, so I was like, oh shit, it's Grif, and then I respawned and we both ran out and we won.
He's lied to me so many times, so I have to be sure.
Cat, and Baka all out after Snitty died, so it was just me and Grif. I was like, it's gotta be one of these people.
I wish I would have realized, because I was kind of half in and half out of the conversation at that point. I wish I would have realized that you were trying to figure out who the second one was. I knew it was Baka from the first round, because the first time I went to night, he had a shotgun. I saw the shotgun shadow go around a corner and a monster come out, and I was like, oh, it's Baka. So you should not have out recognizable weapons if you're gonna do that.
I didn't realize the shadow had the shotgun.
It does.
Actually.
Whatever you were carrying around, whatever you have equipped, is what the shadow has.
Yep.
What'd y'all do?
That's funny.
I streamed Star Ocean all week. I'm enjoying it. I'm much further than I've made it in previous attempts to play the game.
Firebolt.
Oh God,
everyone's
my
getting tired
nightmares.
of. Oh, really, you guys haven't been listening to Ice Needles, really?
Oh, trust me, we heard Ice Needles too.
All of it.
Ice Needles. I mean, I can't really use anybody else. We picked up our 4th party member, and he disappeared. But he was level 6 to our 14, so I kind of can't really bring him in, or else it's gonna be in trouble. So
you had to deal with the mean little fairy that was in the forest that was like, "Oh, I need spring water," and then she's like a total jerk after you give her the water. I was like,
yeah,
"What?"
Like, I'll save you, and then it's like, whatever. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. It's fun. It's a classic RPG.
I'm glad that you were able to spend 12 hours in a game before you were able to craft.
Yeah, it took a really long time to get to the crafting.
Remember, it's one of those long, old school RPGs. And that part of the game is pretty critical too. Like, it's an entire self-functioning side of the game where you make stuff, other inventors will make stuff, they'll put it on the market, you can put it on the market, you can recruit them with special side missions and items and things like that. It's a lot of stuff, which we'll probably spend a whole day working on that alone because it's just
A whole day of crafting.
intricate as hell.
But if you're crafting, I can't hear the fight music. I don't understand.
The 2003 generic fight music, yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, please stop. Finally got into a town and it was like orchestral music. I was like, oh, thank God.
That's much nicer. So much nicer.
The pause menu was better than the freaking fight music.
What about you, Baka? What have you been doing?
The Deceit, World of Warcraft, a little bit of that Animal Crossing new, and getting bouncing around the Grand Theft Auto here and there. You're just doing random chaos.
Baka's been in and out of a lot of stuff. That's,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm
I can't stay like 100% focused on much things like the past couple of weeks.
Wow.
I'll start messing with something and be like, kind of bored. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Bored now, nap.
Bored now, nap.
Well, you want to talk about some news stuff, or Chicken? Did you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
I know tomorrow or today, Grif and I will be playing a game called Kiwi. For stream.
You got Kiwi?
He got Kiwi for his birthday. We just haven't played it yet.
Yes.
Yay.
We'll be playing Kiwi. So be
We scattered on that one.
So am I.
We'll see how it goes. So what do we want to talk about as far as news goes? Now that we're like 40 minutes into the show. We have things to talk about.
We do. Let's get this out of the way now because we dedicated a lot of our time last week to these people.
Oh, good.
And I don't want to dedicate a whole lot of our time this week to these people.
Okay.
But Blizzard Activision now has 6 U.S. states that are pressuring that they have sweeping changes in the company and mainly getting rid of the CEO, Bobby Kotick, that we all hate anyway.
Yeah.
And so you've got California, Massachusetts, Illinois, Oregon, Delaware, and Nevada that are have asked to meet with Activision's board to discuss the response from everything that's going on right now, all the accusations and ongoing investigations.
Mm-hmm.
So, yay. Can we get all the states on it? That'd be
I was
great.
going to say, hell yeah, that's the kind of pressure that they got to keep applying.
Okay. But this Activision Blizzard's not the only company that has problems. Y'all don't think it's a little bit smokescreeny that they're like, yeah, we definitely want to take care of this Activision Blizzard thing because we need to step in here. Don't look at all of these other companies that are doing incredibly similar or worse. We're going to focus on this. Look at this because it's already in the news cycle. We're good for helping with this. And it's like, yeah, you're good for helping with this, but this is not the only one.
But the other one that's in the news cycle is Ubisoft, and they're located not in the U.S.
But that's in the
Canada.
gaming world. There's plenty of corruption to be had in the business world all around this. Bobby Kotick's not the only CEO that knows that he's hiding harassment in his employment places.
That's fine, but like you've got to make an example out of somebody. You've got to do something.
I just wish it was more across the board. You're like, this is terrible.
Well,
all right, well, what about Tesla? Because Elon Musk is not exactly an exemplary CEO either. You want to look into his company? What about Amazon? You want to look into them?
Who's to say they're
not?
The difference is the news for the last 8 months has been nothing but them. So when news hits out with something, if Elon Musk has done something similar to that, I'm not going to assume anybody's done that. But
I'm not saying they have that. Those were just big names that I could pull out.
Yeah, but if a company like Tesla has a problem like that, then if the news is covering that, we don't know that California is not.
Yeah, I know.
Trying.
Like, what else you got back there, California? Let's see.
Because they investigated for 2 years, and this is the information that's coming out now. So. Yeah. There could be continuing investigations for other companies
and education. That would be accurate.
Yeah, that would probably be too. And that need to come out. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I don't
I just don't
disagree
want
with that
this to be
sentiment.
like
It's just
the
this is the one we
only
know.
time, you know, like for it to be like, yes, we definitely have to focus on this one specific thing because clearly this is the worst thing that's happening right now. It's like, can we spread that attention around a little bit? That'd be great.
It's
Well,
one
but
of those
it might
things
give
where
them an
you've got-
option to how to investigate too. Since California investigated for 2 years on them, and you got 5 other states that are involved in this, it also might give them insight on how to start investigations on some of the companies they're dealing with.
Yes, and make the people at those companies a little bit more bold to see that there are other people that have their back. Because right now, so far, nobody has been really doing anything for the workers. But because this Blizzard thing is constantly sweeping, the employees are starting to become a little bit more emboldened. They're like, yeah, we actually see that the people are behind us for once, and they keep pushing, which is what has to happen if you want change. You have to keep pushing. Apply pressure. Keep applying pressure. Trust me, Activision Blizzard is feeling it now. They are 100% feeling it. And that makes the rest of the companies going, okay, all right, do not allow that kind of pressure to fall to us after they're done, because that kind of anger is going to be thrust in different directions. So the rest of these companies got to be like, all right, because if what falls to from Blizzard to somebody else is going to be bad. So,
Well, and I think you have, if you look at it too from this standpoint, what I'm looking at is not just the states themselves, but the cities that I associate with each one of the states. So California has several large cities. The San Jose, San Francisco area is what I think of when I think of development. But they do have LA and other places like that. Massachusetts, I think of Boston. Illinois, I think of Chicago. Oregon, I think of Portland. Delaware, I don't know what I think of when I think of Delaware. It's like this random thing that's there.
Yeah.
It's almost like they went, we need one in the Midwest and we need one on the East Coast. Can we make that happen, guys? Delaware's like, I got it. We were the first state. Let's happen.
Yeah. It's like, beyond that, what do we really know about you, though? Really?
But regardless, it's nice to see like a pressure constantly being applied, which is what we said needed to happen.
Yes.
This is 6 months of horrible PR.
Yes.
Like just horrible PR. Their stocks have absolutely plummeted. The last time I checked, it was like $57 a share now, down from like 80 in July. So.
One of our other articles, while it doesn't pertain to the Blizzard part of Blizzard Activision, or Bobby Kotick specifically, for Raven Software, they're laying off a third of the QA team. And that is an Activision subsidiary. They worked on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War with Treyarch, and so they had these people, working in Wisconsin, and now they're being called in, and they're not done yet. It's a third so far, but they're not done yet because apparently this is going to go through this week of them talking to people in the office and telling them whether they get to keep their job or if they're getting laid off. A lot of them are getting laid off.
Way too long.
It's like, geez, oof. That sounds fun. Not at all.
Yeah, just imagine though, you're like, hey, we need something done with our pay. Okay, no problem. We're gonna restructure this whole thing. The way that we're gonna get paid, we're gonna get you more money as we're firing Bob.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're gonna give you a raise, but we're also gonna fire 4 of your coworkers to afford that raise.
Right.
So imagine the morale in the studio. Like the people that get left, the QA testers that are still around are like, yeah, but at what cost, So that's not great, but I imagine that this is the first of many layoffs, as 1, there's a push for better wages, and 2, shareholders or stocks are dropping. So
yeah.
Yep.
How much longer before THQ starts making offers to buy some of these studios?
It'll be a while. They're still worth a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Even though the stock's dropping.
I mean, that's true. But at what point does Activision Blizzard just get desperate? We need our 7th Maserati.
At what point does Activision turn around and go, hey, guys, this has been a great partnership. We enjoyed our little ride for the end of the day, but we're going to have to let you go. And then they separate the company into 2 positions, and then they try to auction off Blizzard. And then they try to save Activision itself.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think, to me, that's actually a better way to handle it at the end of the day. Just do that. Even though there's been a couple things come out of Activision with the Bobby Kotick stuff, but it's mainly been Blizzard. And if you just kind of say it's the problem's Blizzard, it has nothing to do with us. We're gonna get rid of them.
Definitely what it is.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Checking
see
you
how
were
it
being
ends up.
smiley. Did your Lions finally win?
Oh, but I'm in such a fucking high right now. It's unbelievable.
Did they
I'm
win?
they
sorry.
win?
It was the last 4 seconds. There was 4 seconds left on the clock. They were up by 4. We threw it in for a touchdown, and the timer literally expired as he touched the ball for the fucking touchdown, and we won. We were 110. and won.
Congratulations.
Hey.
So far, this week of my life has been pretty fucking good, just for the record. So
That's so funny.
I am sailing pretty good right now.
The Lions won
Holy
one.
shit. Watch, and at home too. Like, the stadium is blowing up. Everybody is fucking screaming, cheering. It's
How is that
I
not
am
trending on
feeling
Twitter
good.
right now? That's such a weird occurrence. How is nobody talking about it?
Oh
Because it
my
just happened. Give it
God,
time.
it literally just happened. Oh man. Our resident news guy too, Jason Schreier. Congratulations on the Lions winning the Super Bowl. Trust me, that is what this feeling is like. We are 1-10 and we are celebrating harder than Alabama did winning their game yesterday.
Oh my god.
Fair.
Sorry, I didn't
I
mean
mean-
to derail us, but I saw him smiling and I was like, that's not about the news. That's got to be the ball game.
To be
Oh,
fair
yes.
though, I mean those that listen on a regular basis, this is big news. Like I think that people want to know
Ollie over
Whether
there going,
Detroit is
what
winning or
now?
not.
You what? What's going
what
on?
sport is
it's-
this again? American
it-
football, Ollie.
That-
It's American
yeah.
football.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're doing.
Oh god.
Buck is with the rest of the world. What, sports ball?
Like I've
What?
been in that moment for several months and years, so watching it play out in my favor for once, it is relieving,
Let's
to say the least.
then to bring it back to the news stuff. Is there anything else that we need to add to the Blizzard Activision?
No.
No,
I
I
don't
figured
think
that
so.
was the
Okay.
end of that one.
Then we're gonna talk about PlayStation and their Game Pass-esque plan.
You mean their Spartacus?
Is that what it was, Spartacus? I knew it was like
yeah.
Codename Spartacus. Yes.
yeah.
It's
I knew it was something
codenamed
like that.
Spartacus.
Because Oak and I talked about it the other day, and I was like, "That's silly."
All I can think the entire time is just people screaming Spartacus. And I swear to God, if they have a commercial and somebody's doing that, I might have to
Out.
like
Out.
I have to figure out how to blow up PlayStation at the end of the day. Please don't. Please don't do it.
it's
So
gonna
yeah,
be
there's
another tier essentially of PlayStation
3.
Now. It's
Three
3 tiers. Okay, so you like which plan do you want?
so basically you can pay for your PlayStation Plus, which
Okay.
is tier 1.
Right.
Okay, which is
Okay.
what everybody currently has to be able to play online on PlayStation, just like the old Xbox Live used to be, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to have a tier 2, which they haven't announced the cost yet for, or what's going to be included in it. And then they have a tier 3, which they have not given a cost or what's going to be included in it yet. But what they have said is based on the tier, you will get access to several games, just like you would with Game Pass, plus a possibility of back library stuff like you would with PS Now, but you're not paying for individual games to do for the PS Now stuff.
So it's kind of like what Nintendo does then, because you get access to like if you're buying the sub, then you get access to the 64 library or whatever rotating thing they have.
Similar.
retro games.
I look at it more
Well-
like if you think about Xbox has, when you do Game Pass, you get the online, but you're doing
Right.
the Game Pass, you get access to a certain amount of games. Then you have Ultimate, though we always think of it as you get a PC version of the games as well. You actually get
Both?
EA's access as well.
Oh, you get
So-
the EA Vault or whatever that service
Yeah.
is called.
So where Xbox already has Xbox compatibility, backwards compatibility, they just built it into their Game Pass to where you have an older 360s and original Xbox games that you can play. I think that's where they're going with it, but if it's $15 a month, which is what I'm currently, I think that's what Ultimate is currently. If it's $15 a month, that's not bad. But Sony has never showed that they like to do anything cheap. My guess is tier 2 is probably going to be $15 a month. And then the tier 3 is probably going to be pretty expensive. And you're not going to get a place to, unless they turn around and change their mentality, you're not going to get a PC version of that game.
Oh, wait, it says PlayStation Now's streaming functionality is planned to be reserved for a third tier. So you don't get the streaming stuff unless you have tier 3?
They
Right,
own
you have to get tier 3.
Crunchyroll and what's the other? They own 2 of the anime companies. Shit.
Oh, so you think that would be included?
Which will also offer
absolutely.
extended demos and a library of classic PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games.
Damn. Who do they
So you only get the catalog, the old catalog, if you're on tier 3 also.
Yes.
If you're on tier 2, it looks like you get PlayStation 4 games? I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to be new games or a back library. They haven't said yet, right?
But I mean, I
So
would
it's not gonna,
based on the
like,
way
we don't
that
know if it's
they've
good.
said it in this article, I would assume
Funimation.
if you were on tier 2,
Funimation.
you get to play PS4 games, but if you want to buy tier 3, then you will get access to PS1 through PS4. So, like, no,
Yes,
it doesn't
so
count if you bought, like, a PS2 game on your PS4. No, you only get to play PS4 games, so games that were for
Right.
the PS4.
Right.
Okay.
Sony,
So then you get
you're being weird about it.
But then it's a streaming service too
Yeah.
for the PS1 and PS2 games. So it's this, which we now have a cloud-based system that's built into the Xbox, and you can do it as well for the version that's on PC.
Right.
If you're part of their beta program, you can, and you have Ultimate, then you have an option to be able to stream said game as a cloud format, which I've done. I've actually been experimenting with a game called Breath Edge, or Breathage, whatever you say on that one. But the which allows me to be able to float around in space, survive, and have a space chicken. But the it works really well, as close to latency free as I can expect it to be. Probably what Stadia originally wanted to be. But I'm not really sure how Sony's works because I've never dealt with their PS Now before. I just could not justify spending the money to basically rent a game to be able to play and stream through the system. But I mean, I've got fast enough internet to where I can do it, but I'm not going to do that with Sony stuff.
Yeah, I'm not interested in streaming my games. I prefer like to be able to download and not have to worry about my internet giving out and my game crashing.
True.
Yeah. Well, true, but it automatically saves in the cloud. So
Well,
I mean, it's fine that it's saved. I just don't want the interruption while I'm playing.
Yeah, it's
I
like
got
I
you.
want to be able to like play my game and then just not have to worry about being like, oh man, I hope my internet doesn't crash. Or you're in this really intense moment, your boss fight, you're just full focus,
There.
your internet drops, and you're like,
there.
No.
Fuck!
And then it's out for
You gotta
like a couple
wait.
hours while they do some maintenance. You're like, no, now I just can't
Oh.
play.
and everybody has internet troubles. Don't even try to lie to yourself and say.
Well,
I had an
the
internet
other thing
problem.
about it is too, though, like if you think about it from a PS Now standpoint, you're renting that per hour, or at least unless they change their format. It used to be where you originally, it was a certain amount of time that you could rent that particular game for a particular price.
Yeah,
Just like you would
I
rent
remember
a
that. I remember
movie or
talking about
whatever.
that. I don't know if that's still the
Okay,
case.
so imagine you're renting it, you're playing it that way, and then your internet goes out. They're still charging you the same amount, whether your internet's going or
yeah,
not.
it's not on them.
You know, it's not like I got a monthly fee. Oh, my internet went out. I can go back to the game as soon as my internet goes back up to running.
Exactly.
You know, and I thought about this too. You know, the game Chicken's playing right now, Star Ocean. One of the things is because it's an old school game, he has to go to a particular point to be able to save.
Weird.
Oh
So
yeah, trust
are they
me,
going
I
to
mean,
set in automatic cloud saving in
I
some
doubt
way for older games? So if something like that does happen, so where you can start back over where it was at, how is that working?
Probably
that
not.
I promise you, from an old school standpoint, that would make me lose my fucking mind. Like you spend the next 30 minutes or so grinding out some levels, so that and then you're on your way to save and it crashes before you get to the save point. You're like,
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm about to write a very angry letter to Comcast and then one right to Sony. I'm gonna forward it to Sony after that.
so funny. The other thing about it is too, I have to tell PlayStation fans something that I know is going to be really difficult to hear.
No.
There are no console wars. Stop it. Just stop.
But
You told us that this was gonna that the Xbox was ruining the industry because they created a streaming service of some sort. Now you're doing it yourself and you're freaking out on the internet. Literally saw somebody go, they're gonna do it better than Game Pass did. Spartacus sounds cooler than Game Pass. Please stop. You're just trying to find things to argue about. Literally saw someone else go, Xbox is completely garbage. Of course I don't have Game Pass for PC. Steam's better. That's not a thing either, guys.
yeah.
Stop trying to make it a war. Just stop.
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
not a
Console
war. We're
war-
all
the
fucking
console wars
gamers.
are
We all
always
play games. And if I can pay this, it's like turning around and going, well, I enjoy Prime better than I do Netflix.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we gonna have to fight. Now I'll meet you
Okay,
outside the
cool.
school
That's awesome that you
by the
enjoy it,
flagpole.
but it's better. Oh no, Netflix is better. Let me tell you why Netflix is better. It's on. No, they're the same type of system. They just have different options.
Yeah.
Stop arguing about it. I mean,
Yeah, you're both wrong. Pirating is better.
Ah.
Oh,
PC Master Race.
So yeah, just stop. Just stop. Enjoy gaming and be thankful that other people can game and enjoy what they're doing. It's the same thing with the PC Master Race thing. Like, guess what? People can't afford PCs. Right now, no one can afford a PC because of the damn
Oh my
shortage. They're
God.
expensive as shit.
You can't afford anything right now because of shortages. Go.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I mean, if you're, if you've got a friend with a bot, you could probably pick up a console.
Oh my
I mean, they might
God.
go to jail later if this law gets passed that we're about to talk about.
Yeah,
but
we should talk
still.
about that. Let's talk about that. I don't even know how long we've been on. What are we at? Like an hour? Okay,
US
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, U.S. lawmakers have announced a bill to prohibit bot scalping on high-demand goods. Now, how they're going to keep track of
Yeah, how
this
do
is the
you-
thing that I don't know.
I want to know how that's supposed to work. I guess everything has a that thing?
Captcha?
Sure. That thing. The thing that says, "Are you a robot?"
The thing that says, I'm not a bot.
Yeah.
Basically what it is.
Does that really still work? Can we do
There's
that?
a lot of Fortnite players that can't get past Captcha. But, sorry, what? The third-party sellers using bots bypass security measures and manipulate online sales. If you have not dealt with a bot trying to buy something, which I had to deal with it trying to get a Series X and also trying to get a PlayStation 5 when they first came out, basically what happens is they're flooding the entire website with their bots, trying to buy as many as they possibly can and trying to get to them, and then they're scalping those for twice as much as they paid for them once they come in. And they're trying to stop this from because it kills the market. To be fair, I've got a friend that will buy one just to help pay for his that he got. And I don't actually have an issue with that because I feel like he can buy it on a normal thing. But right now, no one can buy one.
Yeah.
There is a single problem when there's no one that can buy one. And they're making millions of dollars doing it so they can buy more bots. So therefore they can just continue to make more and more money. And they're creating the shortage that's here. And so I see a major issue with this. And I don't know if it necessarily needs a law done. I think it needs to, but I mean, I guess you got to force somebody's hands somehow.
Yeah,
And this is
like,
the better way to do it. But again, I don't know how you enforce it. I don't like you enforce it on the selling end of it. Like the people that have used the bots go to sell it, do the resale of it.
Yeah.
And then you're figuring it out that way somehow, whether a serial number's kept or whatever it happens to be, or do you do it on the retail end of it to where Walmart, GameStop, these companies like that are being botted, there's some type of protection there.
You go to the other end. You make it so that they can do as much trouble as they want to get the product, but you make it a waste because they can't get rid of the product. You start like eBay and things like that, things that are like, oh, it's brand new, never been opened. It's like, no, you can't do that. We're not letting people scalp it. And if you do try to resell it, you have to sell it at the same price point that you bought it at.
That makes sense.
Like you can track that kind of stuff because it has to go into a public forum where they are trying to sell it for a markup, and then like eBay and Amazon and all these other smaller websites and whatnot that try reselling and whatnot will not be allowed to operate if they let products be sold at a higher markup than what is retailed price.
I just realized the fact that this is like the console version or gaming version of gouging gas prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that, right? You can't gouge. You can't raise your prices to $80 a gallon. You can't. And it's illegal to price gouge because we went through this in the pandemic. Everybody remembered toilet paper. Everybody tried to gouge
Toilet
in
paper,
certain
gloves,
things, and it was
hand
like,
sanitizers. Yeah.
and it was like, no, that shit's illegal. You cannot do that. You just do the same principle online. You can't price gouge. You cannot buy something, go to a different website, and sell it for 3 times the amount.
So basically,
that
you
should
have a
be
cap
illegal.
MSRP, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Like, you make it illegal for sites to sell things that much higher.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I guess that's when you go back and say, okay, well, here is the value of this is this based on the MSRP. You cannot sell a percentage more, like let's say 10% more than what the MSRP is.
Yes.
So therefore, that you know, whatever that percentage has been. I guess that's a way to enforce it.
And then it becomes moot for these scalpers to try to buy a bunch of these because they're only making such a small markup. They're probably losing a bunch of money to make those bots to get those items.
How does that affect places where you can bid on items, though? So the bid could be pushed past that. It's not that they're retailing it for that.
You can't bid on those.
Huh.
You can't put them up for auction. You can only buy them outright.
Yeah, but then you're telling people what they can and can't do with the product, I guess.
I mean, that's just what has to happen.
Well, I mean, I think
bid on gas,
I think you can still bid them. I think you can still bid them. It's just the buy now price, because majority of the time when you have bidding auctions like that, there's also a buy now for this amount.
Yeah.
You cannot set the buy now price higher than whatever that percentage would be.
But that gives people an option to be able to get items for a little less than what they could mark it up as. But again, you still limit to how high they can put it. Like, there are ways to help. It's just that it has to be enforced. You cannot, like, I get the free markets and whatnot, but there's a certain extent where the free market really starts shafting people, and you got to protect the consumer's interest.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean,
I just don't understand
the
thing that kills me about this the most. And I get it. We've been through an entire pandemic, and now we're into 2021, whatever. I don't understand why the majority of the products, because most places in the United States are opened up, most places around the at least the Western world has opened up. Why not just say, okay, majority of product is going to end up going into a brick and mortar store?
Yeah,
because that would stop. You can't bot a brick and mortar store. So it's like, go back to the old school waiting outside in line.
The campers, and then they'll go in there and want to buy like 20 of them.
Well, you just say limit one per customer. Boom,
exactly,
done.
one per
They don't
customer.
have a choice.
And that's how you get guns drawn on people.
Yeah, I guess that's part of the problem too, though, is we've also gotten to this volatile.
That's a whole different can of worms.
It is.
That we will. That is not
we can't solve on here, but.
That's something
like
else.
One problem
entirely.
is going to lead to another. Fixing one problem breaks something else, I guess, is kind of the thought process.
Welcome to coding, where you fix one problem and realize you just broke your game. So, I mean, it's one per person. If someone pulls out a gun, then, I mean, you got cameras right here. They are literally looking at your face. They press the silent alarm. Boom, cops show up.
I don't care. Let's not get into that. We can't solve that. And I don't want to get into that territory. So,
nope, definitely monster.
Not. Then let's talk about the Halo advertisement video, the 2-minute live action Forever We Fight video.
I liked it. It was really good. It felt very Halo. Like it kind of showed humanity's spirit in the fight.
Yeah, basically throughout the history of not the United States, of the world, you have
humans.
You have like these people that have stepped up that maybe were average regular people stepping up in order to be able to save a situation. I really like that. They've stepped up to be a hero themselves, and I guess they're looking at.
Unfortunately, you saying that can completely construed the thought process I had, because you're right. They are average nobodies who decided to step up for the betterment of humanity. Master Chief is not one of them. He was kidnapped, forced to become a super soldier, and became one of humanity's heroes, not by choice. Like, damn. Oh, I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then I was like, yeah, these people made it by choice. But Chief really didn't have a choice.
He did. Well, to be fair, these people didn't either, because the choices that they're making is is the fact that they're put into a situation that they didn't have a choice in, and they're stepping up to become a hero.
They could have been a coward and let it go, or they could have stepped up and become a hero. Master Chief was kidnapped, genetically mutated, and then made a soldier.
Yeah, but he's the most powerful soldier. He could have made a decision to either walk away from the situation or whatever and stood up and he would need to anyway.
I don't know. When you are...
He's not brainwashed. He's just a super soldier. There's a difference.
Yeah, I was going to say, in a debated world, some soldiers do become brainwashed into... That's what the military is. They break you down to your bare and then rebuild you into a soldier. And that is what your first mentality is. You are a soldier.
I guess. But, I mean, you could also look at it as their advertisement is saying you picking up the controller or becoming the hero as well.
Yeah, like that I get. Like you in this shoes
which is why the tag says become.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're picking up and you're becoming the hero.
I can give you that one. Like I get that a little bit. But the Master Chief part kind of throws me off a little bit because it's not his choice. I mean, maybe if some of the people were forced into those positions without an option, I kind of feel a little like I guess you could see that somewhat. But I guess it's interesting to see the comparisons between a regular everyday person who chose to become a hero versus the people that we made heroes.
And I think they did a good job of it. I think, and what's the article that we're posting from Eurogamer actually has some of the old real life videos they've done as well. Yeah. Live action videos that they've done as well, which is they did the Halo 3 Believe one, which was that giant freaking set of models that they did. That was a scene that they created, which I really liked. But Halo Landfall was probably my favorite one. That's when Neil Blomkamp did that one, which was the guy that was originally supposed to do the Halo movie, and it was with him and Peter Jackson, and that I loved that one. But that was it ended with Master Chief entering the atmosphere, and I loved that one. I thought it was kind of cool to see the fight going on the Earth, and then him entering the atmosphere to start the beginning of Halo 3. So kind of neat. All right, that it?
You don't want to talk about Bioshock? Okay, fine. I see how it is.
I was gonna say you got to take Grif's Bioshock.
I didn't have the Bioshock one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
That's on the news.
Well, I didn't click on it evidently, and now I don't know what you're talking about. Now I gotta look at it.
I was about to say.
I like that he's like, we're done here. We're not talking about the thing that Griff's been.
Yeah, we're done. I'm not talking about no Bioshock. Who wants to talk about some Bioshock?
All right, Griff, tell me about Bioshock.
Well, apparently the next Bioshock is being called Borealis. Maybe. I mean, all of this is like unconfirmed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, there is a Bioshock game in production with Cloud Chamber, but other than that, I guess it's a lot of speculation. But apparently it's supposed to be it's set in the 1960s in a fictional Antarctic city, which is weird because Borealis should be on the northern side, not this. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know what? Doesn't matter because reasons.
Doesn't it happen both places? It's both poles.
Griff, would you like to?
There's the Aurora Borealis and the Aurora Australis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which apparently the people working on this Bioshock game do not know, but it's very easy to Google if you would like to. So yes, there are northern and southern lights, but they are called different things. And if you are looking for the Borealis, you want the north.
I would find it super interesting because it's supposed to kind of be in a similar time frame to Bioshock 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. It would be interesting if these cities were kind of built as sister cities, like one above the sea, one below the sea.
That would be retconning a lot because Ryan was the one that worked on Rapture, and it was supposed to be a very secretive one-off thing, which is why he was there. Is like that was his baby. If there was a sister city, I mean, you'd have to retcon.
Maybe he built that one too.
You'd have to retcon that in because that was not a thing that he was gonna do. Like if you invest yourself into the lore and everything, like this was a singular focus. It was a labor of love project kind of deal. He was handpicking people to live there and things like that. It wasn't like, well, I'll make a backup one just in case this, like that is all eggs in one basket. Like
I feel
Ryan
like,
went
but I mean,
full in.
but I feel like they did a really good job of separating. Like you got 1 and 2 together to take place in the same place, and then with Infinite, those worlds are different.
Yeah.
Like they're part of the same universe, but they feel totally different.
Yeah.
And
So,
I think you couldn't go back to something that felt like Rapture at all.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard.
So it wouldn't
to...
make sense in that respect either. The other thing about it, what if flat earthists think about the fact this is set in Antarctica?
no.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
Oh wow! A bunch of people just started.
wait. Maybe that's what the whole point is of this right now, right? They have it's the whole ice wall, and I get it now. This is the reason people can't cross Antarctica. Makes sense.
I think it'll be interesting, like, because I have a lot of faith in Bioshock's story, and in order to put a new game into that story, you have to make it fit well, because everybody remembers how skeptical they were when Bioshock Infinite was announced, and it wasn't Rapture. It was something entirely different, completely separate, and it turned out to be absolutely magnificent and fit into the story like the puzzle piece that it was. This has to do the exact same thing. Has to. And you have to be very careful about retconning too. Because to be fair, because Bioshock, damn it, Columbia?
Infinite was
Columbia.
Set in Columbia.
Yeah. Was long before Rapture.
Well, and it's because they're from different timelines of the same set of scenarios, kind of deal.
Boom! So you're telling me that Borealis could be a alternate universe?
That's what you're
Rapture?
saying, though, is it has to be completely separate, or else it's gonna feel like you're just trying to repeat. So if you're like Andrew Ryan in this timeline, like, no, you can't take people from the other scenario. It has to be able to stand on its own, but eventually, like, feel like it could tie in with everything else. That's why there has to. One of the things that I said about it is like,
why
man,
I got so many theories.
There has to be a lighthouse. Okay, where's the lighthouse?
Because,
like, what's the deal here?
Because of the rules that they introduced in Bioshock Infinite with the whole, I don't know, I don't want to spoil too much, but, you know.
The game came out
You don't want to spoil that much on like a 12-year-old game.
Okay, like, alternate universe, time-traveling, multi-dimensional thing, like, you could easily have this place be another place that he was hiding and he made to hide to link the other.
I'm actually on Grif's side on this one. I don't now. What you could do is say that he created a secret society of some sort in this particular universe, that whoever that person was went off and created it on their own. But I don't think you can actually have Ryan himself attached.
No. I'm not talking about Ryan or anything like that. It's just.
Well, you said he. Which he are you talking about? It's so nebulous.
Well, sorry, the main bad guy in Infinite, because we saw where he ran away to.
Who is also the main. Okay, look. You're about to make me start really talking about Bioshock and how this stuff works out and everything.
Okay.
Like, did you play the DLC and everything? Because Burial at Sea wraps up a lot of stuff that feels like pretty finite. So you're already going to have to pry some claws off of some things that seemed like they've already been taken care of.
But that's where he ran off to, and we saw how many versions of Booker there was in the universe, right? Tons of them.
Yeah, because there's constants.
Right, so you have different alternatives.
There's constants and variables, and that's fine, but every Bioshock game needs to be its own entity. You don't need to tie them in with the same person. Yes. And if you do...
But you tied the cities together. You
tied the cities together because there's always a lighthouse, there's always a city, and there's always a man. There will be 3 things that are constants, and that is literally it, and it's not always the same man.
Well, that's fine, but you put Comstock into Rapture.
No! Like, stop! You don't need to. Stop trying to put him from that game into every other game. He doesn't need to be in subsequent games. Like, I get that the DLC does do that. Like, that's one of the things, Burial at Sea is the people from...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, but now you're talking about tying them into the next game. You don't need to.
Right.
You don't need to.
How do you link them together?
You don't need to tie it into the next game. There are three constants. There's got to be a city, a lighthouse, and a man. Those are your 3 constants. It's not the same man. No. So as long as there's a lighthouse in this place, a city, and then one protagonist or antagonist, it depends on how.
But what he's saying right now, let's say Bob runs Antarctica, okay? What he's saying right now, this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what you're saying right now, because this is the way I'm understanding it.
Okay.
Is that Bob is the man.
Bob is the man.
Okay.
Bob's the man.
And then there's the lighthouse.
Okay.
right.
And then there is the city. And you're
Okay.
saying that that the
Bobtown.
reason city exists is because man here created two cities. Those are related in some way to this city. Is that what you're saying?
No, like, okay. The only connection between Columbia and Rapture is Comstock, right? And it was just
No.
because he went there.
No.
Okay, well,
No. What are you doing? Stop
we
it.
will talk about it afterwards because apparently I don't know shit.
Let me tell you what I got out of the new one. Okay, we'll go away from the man part of this. What I like about the new one is the fact with Rapture, we're under the water. So we've got a sense of danger. We've got a way. The only way that we can actually move from point A to point B, from a gameplay standpoint, is to be inside of a tube or be inside of some type of underwater device to be able to get us from point A to point B. Okay. So in the second one, we're up in the sky. So the only way that we can get from point A to point B is to be able to find a way to do that, which we have the little rails that take us
Skyhook.
everywhere we need to go and all, right? In the third one, we're in the coldest place on the planet, basically. And so we can't just go outside and move around. So they've created in all three cases a unique, there should be a unique way.
traversal system.
Hopefully you don't move away the same way that we do in Rapture.
Well, I mean, I was about to say
But-
it's probably going to be tubes, right? So that you can stay in
warmer
like
climates.
an insulated area, or they give you a vehicle
Maybe.
and turn it into an open world.
I doubt
Ooh,
that.
that
But if
maybe.
they-
I mean, maybe it's a
if
tram
they do-
system.
If
And
they
then
do
it
two,
needs-
well, I guess a tram system would work.
Yeah, they
It'd be
definitely
better.
don't need it to be an open world. Bioshock is just fine.
Or it could be
being
like- it could be like a-
linear. It could be
Hold
like
on.
what?
It could be a bank tube. You know that they
You mean like
You
the
go to
pneumo
the bank.
tubes
Yeah, I
that
get
they
it.
they
had
put the
in...
thing, you hit the button, and they go right,
Yeah.
and just do that.
So, not like Futurama, where it's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to run a bit parallel to Rapture, just because of the time they decided to set it in.
Yeah, it's in a similar era, essentially. Because
I mean, your
Rapture
artwork's
was
probably
built
gonna be
in
the
your
same.
30s, 40s, but it's actually set in this... Now I'm going to Google it to see when he goes back.
Man, Griff's over here giving me the good lecture about this, and she's like, I don't even know the time.
No, she's just making sure about the time.
Yes, I'm double checking it, just like you double check everything that I say.
Hey, that's good.
And everything I say and everything else everybody else says.
Okay. 45. I'm sorry, I'm checking dates. Don't worry, I'm checking dates. It's got some weird, obscure stuff on this timeline, like when certain businesses in Rapture were formed.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
When people do that, they're like, that's what they hone in on. They're like, oh, you know, it's funny that Timmy's Bakery down the road, it happened to open up at, whatever year. It's like, oh my God, why? Why do I care about that? Well, the dates that are, these numbers that are on here are actually not the street address. They're the year that they were created. So I took an entire map of them and made sure that I listed all of them for you. It's like, okay, why did you do that?
Okay, so yeah, it's 1960 that the original Bioshock happens in. Like the revolution, the Civil War, and everything was 58, and then it's 2 years after that when your protagonist crash lands in the ocean and you have to enter the city.
You ready? You ready for this?
Okay.
First line of the article that we're on. To date, the Bioshock series has taken players deep beneath the ocean circa 1960.
Yeah, but it said circa, and I needed to know when. It was actually 1960.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I needed to know. I needed an exact. Sorry, I should have specified. But yeah, that's what I was looking for, was the exact.
So
on
this
that.
could be taking place like 5 years afterwards or whatever, because it just says the 60s.
The 60s,
Yeah.
yes.
It could be actually closer to the 70s.
Well, but theoretically, it's also in an alternate timeline, which means they might not know about what, Rapture. Granted, Rapture was supposed to be a secret. It was not a widely known place that existed. So the question will be, has that been unearthed and now people do know about Rapture, so that's what inspired this new city? Or, like, how new is this place that we're going to? And how new can it be, I guess, for it to already be in crisis where we need to go and fix things? Because, I mean, the cities are always, like, right on the precipice or in the, aftermath of... Because with Bioshock, it's in the aftermath of the crisis, Civil War thing that was happening. With Columbia, you were there as that was getting ready to kick off, the Civil War and that. So, where will we be?
No, it was after the Civil War, 1912.
No, the Civil War in the city.
The Civil War for Columbia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you had the Vox Populi that were about to really go after Comstock and everything. So
Right.
yeah, that's why when you start time jumping in that, you see it in and out of turmoil. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm worried because I know that it's not the original crew that made previous Bioshock entries. I mean, Ken Levine's gone, Irrational Games is gone. This will be a whole different studio working on it. I'm just hoping that it can live up to all of the nuances and things that need to be in a Bioshock game. And I understand that there were people that didn't love Infinite. That's fine.
That's a shame. I like good twists and like full storytelling, which to be fair, Infinite fed into, which as far as I know, they kind of connected the whole universes together through these certain events. And
yeah.
Who's doing this?
Interesting. Cloud Chamber, sorry. The original code name for this one, by the way, was Parkside. So I'm wondering if this is like a theme park that somebody turned into a city. I don't know why you would have a theme park in Antarctica, but you never know. Also, sometimes the code names for these projects don't actually have anything at all to do with them, so Parkside might just be a kind of throwaway thing. But we're talking about this now, but it's one of those things where it's like this may not be something we see anytime soon. So I don't know.
I actually hope not.
Yeah, in
I hope
2019,
they take as much time as they want to.
Years. Yeah, take the time you need. But I have a feeling that they've been trying to develop a Bioshock game since Irrational got dissolved. Since 2K was left with the property. I just also worry that it's 2K. So they've given me reason to doubt them. But then again, I think at this point, like, what gaming studio or adjacent, have not done so at this point.
Right.
So we'll see. I would like to see more things. I probably won't anytime soon, but I would like to.
That's funny.
All right.
Right. Anything else?
No. I guess not.
Awesome. If you all would kindly Would you kindly follow us on Twitter at InfiniteResPC? You can check me out personally at MDBOtree. Check out Grif.
At Grif Slidem.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka. Also, make sure you go to Grif's YouTube channel where she's got a bunch of stuff up right now. Because I'm behind.
Catch up, man. I just posted episode 8 last night.
I know, I'm behind. I'm still on 3, I think. I'm on 3.
Catch up,
yeah.
man.
It's 2. Much. You had 2 was 2 parts, and one was short and one was long.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I've been struggling a lot with all
So
of it.
yeah, I think I'm on 3. Yeah, I'll catch up. The good thing is you've got them in a nice length that they're easy to get through, which
I'm
is
trying.
Like.
Sometimes I get a little carried away, but I'm trying to be good about it and keep an eye on it.
Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. Chicken's currently playing through Star Ocean End of Time. Is that right?
Till the end of time.
Till the end of time. All right. I'm assuming you'll be playing that for like the foreseeable future.
Well, except for tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow or today, wherever you're watching this at, Monday, me and Griff will be playing Kiwi. Kiwi.
Yay, Kiwi.
It's an adorable little party game that we have to we got to make letters and deliver them.
We'll see.
As Kiwi.
As Kiwis.
Too funny. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv MDB Oak Tree, where I'm playing currently through actually nothing. I'm actually playing through nothing because I was going to play Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'll be starting that not this week, but the next week because Halo Infinite comes out this week. So I'll be playing through that. But for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.